Wow, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back at a new video here of Tuning Dutchy. Now, it is actually a little bit ago since the last time I checked in, and I got some good reasons for that. Number one is because I was, still working on a Chevrolet Matiz. Yes, it's still there. Wonderful. But second thing, of course, still working over here at my AIO. And third thing of all, I'm overall actually very busy and getting everything back on the track. So yeah, get everything sorted out. But anyways, I was thinking since it's a little time ago, let's do another update video. Because you guys didn't hear from me in quite some time. All the more reason to make this video. So, again, this is of course an update video because you guys can see I'm here behind the camera sitting again and not anywhere else. So not in the garage by my dad where I normally work, or in the car as you guys might get used to. Now there are some things happened in the meantime also, and well, things are actually looking pretty great. Now, first thing of all, that's something I actually very easy can explain, and I don't want to go too deep into details. But I'm single again. But yeah, that doesn't hold me from working on my car. The person wasn't interested as well, so whatever. Kinda a life thing, you know. But as you guys go, as you guys know, I still worked on my car. I'm trying to get everything back in a working order. Now, you guys have probably seen, at least for the guys that have seen this video soon, maybe already have seen the AMR 300 and the AMR 500 video. So that's actually the two Superchargers video, and yeah, you can see the smaller version, but you also can see the bigger version. And there are two different kind of small superchargers for a K car, so KAI, which is actually the small Japanese cars. Now, I got the AMR 300 supercharger, which lays in a room near me, and I got the AMR 500 supercharger currently installed in my car. Now, the AMR 300 had an oil problem and it was leaking a bit, so I don't know what's going on with that one, because if I turned my hand with the pulley, it was leaking already. Now, it wasn't leaking that much, but it was leaking. On the other hand, the pulley was already wiggling around way too much, which led me actually to buy the AMR 500 because I couldn't use that supercharger anymore. Now, I could have gone for the AMR 300 again, because I have made a different kind of connection on my car, which is, well, how it looks like currently, more stable, but with, well, supercharger, or better said, turbo hoses and all that. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to install. Now, just to explain in very easy terms and easy words, now my AMR 300 has there an inlet and there an outlet, and in this case it's actually standing like this with the AMR 500, which makes it difficult. Now, here is the inlet actually of, where the air goes to my engine, and my exhaust manifold is already over here. So yes, exactly, one of my turbo pipes has already been, burned. However, I still needed to cut everything by size, which actually, was working very well until today. Well, today. It's very early in the morning. It's currently, let's say, 7:23 a.m. So yeah, well, until today, no, I am not coming from my dad, but as said, still things happened. I think probably you guys already know, or may guess. So, just to tell you guys, actually in very easy and very short terms, financially things are going a bit up, but the last time I spoke about financial stuff, actually, things were not that stable as we all were thinking. So, as explained before, and for the people that don't know me, actually, I have a person that actually is watching, well, keep an eye on me that I don't spend too much money and that I don't get into trouble. So, whenever actually I got money, I would like to spend it, of course. So, which is kind of obvious, especially if you have much to do in your car. So, in this case, there was a lot also still have to be paid. So just very, very easy, very simple words. And that makes us all actually not believe that we are actually much lower on financial basis than we were thinking. So I'm not gonna say any numbers or what. I mean that's not important. The most important thing is that it's actually already increasing. Now it's Sunday today, and on 8 a.m. I have to go to work right over there until 8 p.m. So that's our 12 hours. Now, of course, I do this with a reason. And yes, I do already work for 3 weeks now. And I mean, I still enjoy every day. So, only for today, I will get probably like, well, yeah. Well, let's not go into the numbers, but more than enough, okay? So, but I work 12 hours, of course, and that's not for nothing. I mean, normally the Sunday is a day for resting. Now, I don't use this day as rest because I want to get a little bit extra, and the more I work and the more I get extra, the better it's going to be. The only thing I can say is that all days besides Sunday is 12 euros per hour, and this day it's 18 euros per hour. So that's only counting for the Sunday. So financially said, yes, it's going better. Let me say that already. Now we are still not there yet. I still have to dig into some financial stuff to see if the number which I am at now, if that's the number I hold, or better said, keep, or is there still a lot of stuff to have to get paid, and the number I have currently is still going to be lower. I have to check that out once I'm actually done with working. Now, besides that, as said, financially it's going much better. Well, much better. It's going better, and I hope not to take too much time to drive to Matiz. I can't say any time. The person that actually is watching me that I don't spend too much money is already talking about a half year. And my dad is also a person, of course, obviously, which is watching me, and he said, "Well, I don't think that's necessary. He's just actually worried about the situation. I might maybe decrease the time. Might be able to decrease the time." Now I already have, of course, counted what a half year is, and again, I'm not going into numbers, but already have counted for that. And if I'm correct, then I'm almost at it. It doesn't mean that I can drive because it still depends on that person actually, so a financial person. He is actually deciding whenever I can drive again, yes or no. If my dad said yes and he said no, then it's still a goddamn no. Anyways, it's looking good at this point. Yeah, besides that, I mean, there are still stuff actually I'm working on. A lot actually off camera, and maybe I could do this on camera, because there are things you guys, of course, didn't have noticed, which was already pretty difficult to see. Now, if you guys have me on Instagram, then you guys have seen probably what is going on exactly, and what's currently the problem and what's going on. So, but for the people that doesn't see it, or if you have not yet visited actually my my YouTube channel, my Instagram, then I already can say. Now the thing is, the AMR 300, which was on my Chevrolet Matiz, that one, I mean, as said, it's already, well, pretty much broken. because of the pulley that actually was wiggling like that, as you guys already know. And as I have explained before, that was the reason why my serpentine belts were jumping off all the time, and which was impossible to move forward to in the future, well, less likely. But besides that, actually, I also had an oil leaky issue, so I laid the AMR 300 in the room near me, but I also bought the AMR 500. Now, the AMR 500 is not actually meant for my engine, because my engine is a 3-cylinder 0.8 liters, or in American terms speaking, 48 cubic inch. And the supercharger is actually able to deliver a air capacity from engines from 1 liter up to 2.2 liters. Now, that already it's already saying it worked. I mean, it's not for my engine, it's a little bit higher, because I didn't have installed a tune yet. So maybe you guys already know what you can expect. It's gonna be funnier, just keep watching, because, oh man, there's a lot of work to do, with risks. Now, recently, and let's jump actually a little bit faster through the details. I bought the AMR 500, installed it, and of course, in this case, I didn't actually install everything weird, but I did install it the correct way, with turbo. Well, man, I'm speaking too much German in my area, so I need to find the correct words again. Now, I'm actually installing the turbo pipes. There we go. So these turbo pipes, actually, like this one. So this one came in yesterday, after a month. Yes, very worth my time. No, it's not. No, it's not sponsored, of course. So that's why I could do it like this. So those things actually, and if you guys look, I mean, I still have a short uploaded there. You guys can see a little bit of the install. But I actually already connected all the turbo pipes, the blow-off valve, in this case also the vacuum hose, and I installed well, I set it actually the setting on the blow-off valve, so everything is going to work fine. However, the blow valve didn't open, which led me of course way more boost in the piping itself than I actually expected. The intercooler is, however, it's a small one, but I didn't have actually get the time to make it fit. And I was thinking, if I placing it somewhere else to make auxiliary fans, but still I'm looking if that's going to be happening, yes or no. I have to replace the intercooler on another place in my engine bay, because above the exhaust manifold is definitely not a good idea. Now, the thing is, the first time actually that everything was closed, so the complete turbo system, so, well, supercharging system, when in the time when everything was closed, my serpentine belt was broken again. Now, in this case, not because it was wobbling, no, it was slipping a little bit much. The reason for that is because the serpentine belt was still actually too large for the AMR 500, because I have, as said, a little bit different mounting in this case, but nonetheless, I mean, it jumped off, and that made actually my car to stall. It was, of course, not getting enough oxygen. So yeah. That means no oxygen means an engine that's not able to breathe, which also means, in this case, that that we have an issue. Oxygen issue is not a good combustion chamber. So I was trying to get back to my dad's house with the oxygen that my engine still could get, and that was not a good idea. So I had to wait for my dad to arrive at where I was at the moment. All the turbo piping were all actually, they were not round anymore. They were actually oval. So yeah, it already was clear that this complete system was closed. But on the other hand, the supercharger wasn't running anymore, so that means it cannot deliver any more air. So I had to get a flathead screwdriver, and make the engine breathe again. Once I got that done, when my dad arrived, the engine was running fine again. However, of course, there was a little bit too much gas in the combustion chamber, so it took a little time to make that working properly again. However, this is not the biggest problem. The biggest problem has still to come. So the problem I'm facing at this moment, and yes, guys, I already could have seen this coming. But hey, it's part of tuning. It belongs to it. I have blown my head gasket. I have blown my head gasket, guys. Oh my god. No. That's not funny. However, I react funny. Now I am gonna tell you guys the story. The thing is, the same reason I, in this case, disconnected the intercooler and I made a piping itself. So somehow like this, just a little bit smaller diameter, not too much, and of course way longer. Worked out actually correctly. Was actually much better. The air was colder because it was way further away from my engine, at least the exhaust manifold. On the other hand, the thing is, how should I say this? I bought a different serpentine belt in this case, was working correctly. Yes, it was. So I was driving with a good friend of mine. Everything went fine until the highway. Then the party was over. Well, the highway. It was an 80 kilometers an hour road, so 35 miles an hour. I was actually putting my flooring actually the pedal. Now I heard already that my supercharger wasn't running that nice, so I knew it was not getting too much boost because the serpentine belt was much too loose. So I already told him, you know, we don't get actually much boost. We have to drive back to make this working again. Now once I let off the gas, of course the engine is not putting too much load anymore, which is also very weird at the same moment, that my engine actually, well, could spin the supercharger around again. Same problem I had with the AMR 300 actually, so that's why I knew it was loose. Took a little bit of time to figure out. And guess what happened? In a single second, yes guys, in a single second, my complete car was smoking like an idiot. Yes, smoking like an idiot. And what I mean with this one is, I don't know if you guys actually have watched Formula 1, but if you watch that and you have seen the Formula 1 cars that actually are just driving around fine, no smoke, no fire, anything, and just actually completely out of nothing, poof, smoke, like a smoke bomb. That was actually happening with the Matiz, and the colleague near me, so in this case my best friend, he said, "Oh, hey, hold up a second, everything is smoking. Stop on side of the road." So I was looking at him from, "Huh? What do you mean? What are you talking about?" I mean, I didn't felt nothing. I mean, yeah, I felt something. I knew I had power loss because I only achieved 41 horsepower at that moment when it happened, and I knew something was not right, but I didn't know that was going on. So I wouldn't believe him, and suddenly, just wait a sec. I'm logging into my work PC. So suddenly I was looking actually back, and I was looking like, holy, okay, yeah, it's a good idea to stop. Everything was black. Everything was gray behind me. I couldn't see a single thing. Once I stopped, my car actually reduced to running from 3 cylinders to 2 cylinders, so I knew something was going on. The thing is, if you have not too much boost, and one cylinder is actually deactivated from itself, as said, no, I don't have any spun rods or anything, no, because I already have that seen. I also did compression check and actually looks okay for a broken head gasket, so let me say that. So I know the pistons are in good order. That's the most important reason here. So I was on the side of the road and my cooling system was also blown up. Don't ask me how. I don't know. It was actually a matter of a single second that my cooling system was completely empty. I don't know what was going on there, but normally if a head gasket is actually broken, um, it it's not gonna take 1 second to make the complete cooling system, well, empty. We are talking about 5 liters, which is maybe 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons. I don't know the real conversion, but 5 liters is still much for this engine. So because those 5 liters cooling, they came to the back of the engine, which actually was also going into the first injector. And of course, if there's, well, water in there in the connectors, means, well, that injectors are going to be deactivated. Now, luckily, there's no short in the circuit. I already checked everything out, so I'm very lucky with that. Because if that was going on, I couldn't drive at all, and I had to buy a new ECM, I mean. So luckily, no, that's not happened. So I was looking, and my best friend told me, you know what, turn off your car immediately, because soon you have much more problems. That was the worst thing I could do, trust me, because my engine wouldn't turn anymore. Now you might think, hey, your engine is actually too tall because the pistons are stuck against the wall. But hey, yes, I was thinking that also, but it's not true. The reason why is actually, maybe if you think a little bit further, and here on the channel, maybe for the real mechanics. I mean, I had no cooling in the system, a blown head gasket. What do you think was going on? The cooling was on the top of my pistons, which left me with too much pressure. So much pressure that I wasn't able to turn around my engine anymore. So I had a supercharger on there as well, which makes it for the engine even more stress to turn everything around. So the only option was for me to actually, well, lift up the serpentine belt, or hoping that it's going to be a little bit more looser, that it actually is going to work again. Now, yes, that was the solution, and it worked. So I got my engine to run again on 2 cylinders, because of course there was a lot. Well, there was way too much water in the engine, because I put water in there once I got back, and we tested it out. So cylinder number 1 and number 3, they have, well, I don't know what's going on there, but the gaskets are very good for the trash can. That's one thing that's already sure, 100%. I didn't took the engine apart already. I didn't do that yet because I don't have a head gasket at this moment. Yes, I still have to need to order it. What I still have done is, because there was water in the combustion chamber, what I did is, there was still a little bit of water still flowing around in the engine. Now the only thing you can do to make that going away is let the engine run. Now, because I can't drive the car yet, which means the car is standing actually just in Mother Nature, it's not a good idea to leave a car standing with water in the, well, combustion chamber. So what I've done is I let the engine run for a little time to make sure every little bit of water was going out. So I do know that my engine doesn't have any water in there, and that it will not corrode or rust in the worst case scenario. So that's actually what happened. Now, of course, I parked the car there, and yes, it's a sad story. Now, in this case, I can do actually 2 kind of things. Now, number 1 is actually the most common thing, and actually the most safe thing to do, is to get, actually, at least for now, rid of the supercharger system. Now, is that something we want? Not really, because of course I like horsepowers, I like accelerations. That does also mean I don't like to drive normal or just on 52 horsepower that's stock from my engine. On the other hand, guys, I mean, the second option would also be making the pulley double the size. Why I'm going for that is actually very easy to explain. Once I am putting 50% of the accelerator pedal, I feel that my engine is stumbling a bit. So it's actually... so I know there is a lack of fuel. Now, since the tune-up is very expensive, 1,500 euros by the way, which is now also even not possible anymore because the firma or well, that company has stopped doing that, so putting the duty cycle from the injectors up. I still will take a look around if someone can do that. But since that's not possible to, well, higher up the duty cycle of the injectors, the thing is that I have to buy a different kind of pulley. Now, I have 54 millimeters pulley on there, and I think it's the best case scenario to make a 108 millimeters pulley. The reason why I want that is that the AMR 500 is putting way too much air into the engine. With doubling the size, I hope that I can put full throttle again, and going nuts. Actually, as I am, and as you guys know from me. 50% throttle, 54 millimeters pulley means 100 millimeters pulley, 400% throttle, because then I decrease the amount of air that's entering the engine. Besides that, without a tune, I have, of course, I use my app, and so I can see what the health of the engine is, and I have definitely seen that my engine went from 52 horsepower completely up to 75 horsepower. Yes, guys, it's extreme. Without a tune, because that's 50% more power than the engine is from itself, from stock. But if we are looking back, just a little thing, Koenigsegg Agera, at least I know Koenigsegg has a 3-cylinder, and they made also 600 horsepower out of it. 200 horsepower per cylinder. Now you tell me how that's possible. There isn't much tuning stuff available, so not much tuning information about a 3-cylinder Daewoo Matiz or Chevrolet Matiz engine, but I think it's still possible to do a lot of things with it, because I still have a compression ratio from 9 to 3 on 1, and that's pretty high for such a small engine. Now, that's actually what I want to tell you guys, because I mean, it was still a little time ago. I didn't have yet parts ordered yet. I still have to do that to make this actually working again. So I have to buy some oil. I have to buy some oil filters. Also, I have to get myself some what do you call it? I still have to get myself some coolant. So coolant, oil filter, and of course the most important thing is the head gasket. That are the things that I still have to buy, and I definitely will do that. So yeah, we will see how that's gonna work out. So this is actually how it's looking like, guys. So once I'm gonna work on it, we are proceeding with the exact same things like the Daewoo Matiz, getting my valve shit off, as said. Well, the cooling system is already drained, so I don't have to do anything with that. I can't take my oil pan off because there is no original there's no original gasket on there, so that's a bummer as well. But anyways, I am going to dig into it to order the gasket, and once I'm working on it, I try to my best to make a video from that, guys. Now anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If that's so, give a like, subscribe to the channel, and guys, I hope to see you guys the next time. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.